Spurs and the Warriors.
Yes.
Spurs rocking the Terry Cummings, Sean Elliott throwbacks. I love those jerseys. Warriors come in looking to get a win. Check out this play here. Wemby matched up on Draymond. Looks like he's about 11 feet away from Draymond. Draymond's about to shoot a three-pointer.
He's about to drain this.
One step, he blocks it.
Oh my word!
Jeff, did you see that? Blocks it.
Did you see that?
One step away. Wemby doing Wemby things. Early in the third, Warriors are losing by 9 in this one. Jimmy Butler gets it back to Curry. Curry nails a 3. Warriors down 6. Here's Curry, leans in, straight back, bangs a 3. Here all of a sudden, the Warriors are coming back.
Yeah.
Got a 1-point lead. Fourth quarter. Here's Wemby. Deep. Bang! Wemby goes there with the long distance 3. Curry, can he match? Layup. It's good.
The game is won in the paint.
It is.
The game is won in the
Warriors leading.
More
Curry.
say.
He misses.
Don't worry.
But there's Gary Payton, the second, tracks it down. Hey, do this again. Love that call from Orlovsky. Curry goes for 46. The Warriors win 125-120 on the road. Still amazing what Curry can do at 37 years old. He's averaging 27 a game.
We're taking the training wheels off today, but
we're gonna chill out and watch. It'll be a good day.
Game day.
It's gonna be a good day. So before we get on, we do have a little bit of basketball to discuss. We had some games last night, interesting ones going on. Golden State out, San Antonio. Warriors a big win, a comeback win, as a matter of fact, 125-120. Steph finishes with 46, but he had 22 of those points, I should say, in the third. His 41st career 20-point quarter. It was like he was there, and then all of a sudden he was really there. Jimmy Butler, 28, he was 9 of 12. This all coming on the heels of Draymond Green sort of making some public comments, which made it feel like they were definitely going to get the win, and they did. It's a big win. Kind of weird to say that about a San Antonio team, so I'm excited about that. But Steph reminding the world that he's still there. And what did you see from Steph last night as far as championship contending?
I mean, honestly, I was waiting on this game all season. This is kind of not a normal thing to see Steph kind of go through struggles early on. Still play rather decent, early on, but we've been waiting on one of these big electric games like this, and he came out and performed against one of the better teams in the league right now. So great win for the Warriors. They kind of hit a rough spot with not necessarily winning games the way they expected to, but this is a huge win for them. Obviously, they need this momentum to keep moving forward. So I'm pretty sure they're happy in that locker room, especially with kind of the things that have happened in
some weirdness.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah,
not
weird.
really, and it's hard to kind of understand it.
It feels like accountability. We don't really overreact when we hear Draymond call out his teammates in the little undertones, because to me that's accountability. Like, you have a championship pedigree leader like a Draymond, you tend to listen when he has something to say. Like, it's not his style to call his teammates out or to make waves in the public that doesn't have anything to do with Draymond. You know what I mean? So when he says something, you tend to listen to him. And these guys usually respond when he does say something. And I felt like that last night was one of those. Like, them old dogs, they still got some fight left in them. And one thing we never disputed about the Golden State Warriors, they can hoop. They have guys that know how to play basketball, and they're going to play basketball the right way, high IQ guys. And so seeing where they are in the rankings right now, they're still a dangerous team, because at any given moment they can figure it out. They know how to micromanage a season. They know how to set certain goals going into every month of the season to make sure they're in a particular situation. So this was a great quality win for them. And San Antonio did them favors. Wemby goes out, has 8 turnovers. De'Aaron Fox has 6 turnovers. These are your leaders. So even though Kessler and Wemby both have triple doubles, when you give Steph Curry 14 extra possessions to beat you and end up beating you by a 5-point game, that's where the numbers land to me.
That is interesting to me. And by the way, they do play each other again tomorrow, which is a cup game, so that'll be another fun watch there. But obviously, the Spurs are a very young team, and these types of moments, especially against, as you guys mentioned, a team with that kind of a pedigree and players with that kind of a pedigree. Like, what do you learn as a young player from a game like last night from a Spurs perspective?
I mean, exactly what Lou said. The importance of each possession. Those turnovers down the stretch. Those type of things that they may seem simple in the moment, but then towards the end of the game, you realize how catastrophic those possessions are, and they result in a loss. So it's a learning experience, a learning curve for this young team, and this is exactly what they need. They went against a championship veteran team that's been there time and time again, and it showed. The experience showed against the youth. in the game. So great learning experience for the Spurs. I look forward to the next matchup because I think this Spurs team come out with a lot of fire. I do believe they'll want this type of game back. They probably feel like they were supposed to win this one. So I think this next game will be even better.
But because they competed, right? They kept putting themselves in a position to get back in this ball game. But then when you turn the ball over again, Steph Curry too dangerous to give him extra possessions to beat you. Like it was one, he missed a three-pointer, great opportunity for him to go down and get a score. Instead, they give up an offensive rebound, give him a second opportunity. And you know Steph Curry is not going to miss two three-pointers in a row. And that was the dagger that put them down. And so like Boogie said, all of these things are learning experience for the San Antonio Spurs. These guys are going to get better and better. And as they get older, they get more mature and start to create some of that chemistry that we've already seen, they'll learn how to take care of that basketball. Like Fox is a veteran guy. He's going to have days where he's efficient with the basketball. His assist to turnover ratio is going to be more in his favor, more than it's like he had last night. So it was just one of those nights, and the Warriors, they benefited from it.
We briefly touched on what Draymond said 2 days ago now, I guess, talking about how when Jimmy Butler got there, it felt like the whole team was all about winning, and that was what the goal was. And right now, it does not feel that way, which I think most people who've been watching sports for a while were like, oh, Warriors are going to win tonight. Because that feels like one of those after you fire a coach or after somebody says something. Is this just Draymond saying that is that to someone specific? There were a lot of theories floating around yesterday. Kuminga then goes to the bench. Who is that for? And does this just have to happen periodically to work?
I didn't view his comment as it being specifically for anybody. I think that was a message to the team.
Okay.
And obviously, people are going to try to dissect it and read between the lines and come up with their own assumption. But that was a message to the team, and obviously the team heard the message. They came out and beat a really good young Spurs team. So Draymond, that's Draymond's role. Obviously, Steph takes all the highlights and headlines with his talent, but the heart and soul of the team is Draymond. He's the engine that makes the team go. He's a voice in that locker room. He's been time and time again. It's to the point where, and I witnessed it with my own eyes, to where the coach staff is listening to Draymond. That's how important his voice and role to this Warriors team. So that was just on full display. And like I said, I think the team heard him.
He had full trust because he called for a review. They didn't even look at the video. They just let Draymond do it. I mean, it didn't work. But full trust.
Yeah, and I felt like if he was talking to somebody, he put an address on it.
Golden State Warriors fans, buckle up, because what we witnessed this week says more about the heart, identity, and future of this franchise than any box score or standings update ever could. The outside noise is deafening right now. The critics are circling. The experts are pointing fingers. And yet, in the middle of all the doubt, all the pressure, and all the fatigue, Stephen Curry once again reminded the world exactly who he is, and exactly who the Golden State Warriors still are. 44 points, pure shot-making, pure leadership, pure generational greatness. And he did it in a moment when this team desperately needed someone to stand up, anchor the ship, and prove that the Dynasty's heartbeat is still alive. This season has been a roller coaster. Everyone knows it. This team opened the year looking sharp, picking up 2 straight wins that had the entire fan base saying, all right, the Warriors might shock some people this season. But then came the inconsistencies. Then came the injuries. Then came the brutal road stretch. And then came the blowout loss to the Oklahoma City Thunder, a game many labeled as a measuring stick game. People ran to their cameras, to their podcasts, to social media, writing the obituary of the Warriors before November even finished. But here's the part they don't want to talk about. This team got up off the floor. This team responded. This team punched back. Because on Wednesday night against the San Antonio Spurs, the Warriors didn't just squeak out a win, they took over the game emotionally, physically, and mentally. They played like a team that refuses to fade quietly. They played like a team that is tired of being talked about and ready to do the talking themselves. Stephen Curry lit the building on fire with 44 points. 44. Let that sink in. In year 15, at 37 years old, coming off illness, coming off heavy usage, coming off the loudest criticism this franchise has heard in years. The greatness of Curry is so normalized in today's NBA that people forget that what he's doing is unprecedented. We're not just witnessing elite longevity, we're witnessing a player who is still one of the 5 most dangerous offensive weapons on earth. But Curry wasn't alone. Jimmy Butler stepped in with 28 points of his own, and this is where the national conversation gets interesting. Because the media has been searching for a scapegoat every single time the Warriors lose. One day it's the young players, the next day it's the veterans, the next day it's the front office, and lately Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green have been the targets. Kevin O'Connor stepped up and fired shots directly at the veteran core. He said Draymond Green has declined. He said Jimmy Butler hasn't stepped up in the biggest moments. He said Curry deserves better. And there's truth in every criticism, but context matters. That's the part nobody wants to analyze. Here's the reality. Jimmy Butler was never brought in to be Stephen Curry's replacement. He was brought in to stabilize the offense, defend at a high level, and take some pressure off Steph when the moment requires it. And slowly, game by game, he is doing exactly that. Against the Spurs, he was composed, efficient, dominant in stretches, and physical in ways this team hasn't seen since the glory days of Andre Iguodala and Sean Livingston, bringing that veteran force to the half-court. Jimmy Butler is not the problem. He is a part of the solution. Draymond Green, the production hasn't been there offensively, and everyone sees it. 3 points against Indiana, 3 points against OKC, 6 points on 1 for 10 shooting against San Antonio. Those are brutal stat lines. There's no hiding from it. But Draymond Green's value was never rooted in scoring. He is the emotional compass, the defensive architect, the communicator, the floor general in the chaos. If Draymond's shooting is off, that is an issue, but it is not the collapse of the system. It's an area that can stabilize as the season unfolds. The Warriors need Draymond engaged, locked in, and consistent. The good news? He always responds when challenged. Always. And this is where the real question begins. Is this current roster built to survive the grind of an 82-game season and still make noise in April and May? That's the conversation happening around the league, and the trade rumors are heating up. Jonathan Kuminga becomes trade eligible on January 15th. That is a major storyline. Moses Moody and Brandon Podziemski remain intriguing young pieces. The Warriors could package assets, they could pursue a star. The front office already proved they were willing to make big moves when they traded Klay Thompson and then landed Jimmy Butler. This team is no longer clinging to nostalgia. They are building for the future while keeping the window open for Curry in the present. Larry Markkinen is a name that has come up before, and yes, he fits like a glove next to Curry and Butler. There's even noise, possible noise, that if the Lakers collapse hard enough, Anthony Davis could become available. Would the Warriors swing for the fences again? Would they put everything on the table? Would Jerry West or Bob Myers have done it? Absolutely. And the current front office, as shown this offseason, is not afraid of risk. Because if you still have Stephen Curry playing at this level, you owe it to him to build a roster that can win now. But here's the part of the conversation that the national media isn't talking about. The Warriors do not need a panic trade. What they need is rhythm. What they need is health. What they need is the young core to grow without fear. What they need is consistency from Jimmy Butler and engagement from Draymond Green. What they need is to survive the fatigue until a schedule normalizes. Because look at the signs. Look closely. The team responded after embarrassment. The team rallied behind Curry. The team played with edge, urgency, and pride against the Spurs. And Curry, once again, showed everyone that the Warriors' window is not closed. It is not locked. It is not painted shut. It is wide open as long as he is on the court. This team has flaws. Every team has flaws. But this is also a team with championship DNA, multiple elite defenders, an all-timer in Curry, a veteran wing in Jimmy Butler who still thrives under pressure, young players capable of taking leaps, and a front office willing to make moves. Write them off at your own risk. Because when the Warriors decide to click, they don't just win games. They change narratives, silence critics, and remind the NBA that dynasties don't die quietly. The Warriors are far from finished. And if Wednesday night was any indication, this team is just getting started. Fans of Warriors Nation News, now I want to hear from you. Do you believe this team should push for a trade before the deadline? Do you think Curry and Butler can carry this team deeper into the season once the rotation stabilizes? Should Draymond be challenged more, or does he simply need time? Drop your opinions in the comments. Hit the like button if you're riding with the Warriors through every high and low. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a single update, because the story of this Warriors season is only beginning. Warriors Nation, we're not going anywhere.